Welcome to Saturday coverage of the war in Ukraine, night 87. Night 87 of the coverage. I am your host, Andy Mercado, and it is supporter and member Saturday here on the platforms. Again, I am a 100% viewer-funded stream. I exist thank you to the viewers. I don't have any sponsors yet at this time or anything like that. It's 100% viewer-funded, so everybody that supports the stream in many various different ways. This is the one night a week in which the chat will be set to supporter only and member only chat. I'm going to change that after the intro. So go ahead and everybody and check in. This is going to give people time to grab the badge on Facebook or join the YouTube channel. If you have any questions, just ask the moderators. I'm going to read off the latest news, and then again, after the intro, the chat will be turned to supporter only and member only. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel. It is a lot of people, and again, I could not do it. I could not continue doing this without the support of the viewers. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. All right. So, Ukraine war, night 87. Azov commander says wounded Azovstal defenders evacuated to Russian-occupied cities received necessary medical treatment. In this video address he published on May 20th, Denis Prokopenko didn't specify whether it was provided before or after the evacuation. As for the evacuation of the dead soldiers from Azovstal, the process continues, he said. I hope that in the near future relatives and the whole of Ukraine will be able to bury the soldiers with honors, Prokopenko said. Governor, Russia blocking evacuation from occupied Kherson Oblast. Kherson Oblast Governor Hennadii Lahuta said at the news briefing that Russian forces have been blocking the evacuation of civilians for the 5th day in a row. Ukraine's Southern Operational Command added that Russian troops are blocking the road from the Kherson Oblast to the territories controlled by Ukraine, attempting to direct everyone who wants to leave the region to the Russian-occupied Crimea. Germany to send 15 anti-aircraft guns to Ukraine in July. A German Defense Ministry spokesman said that on May 20th that Ukraine will receive 15 Gepard self-propelled anti-aircraft guns as well as 60,000 rounds of ammunition from Germany in July. The CIT, Ukraine could be ready for a counteroffensive within 2 months. Ruslan Leviev, head of a conflict intelligence team, told the Meduza news site that war is likely to turn into Ukraine's favor in 1.5 or 2 months. Russia to consider exchanging Mariupol defenders for Medvedchuk. Russian negotiator Leonid Slutsky said that Russia would consider exchanging the Ukrainian soldiers who were taken by Russia as prisoners of war in Mariupol for pro-Kremlin lawmaker Viktor Medvedchuk. Russian soldiers destroy the bridge between Severodonetsk and Lysychansk. Serhiy Hennadii, governor of the Luhansk Oblast, said that previously the bridge had been blown up by Russia's proxies in 2014 before being rebuilt in 2016. Ukraine's Defense Ministry and Office of the President said a Russian missile destroyed the House of Culture in the Ukrainian city of Lozova on Friday, injuring 7 people, including a child. Zelensky called the perpetrators of the attack absolute evil on his Telegram channel. So that is the latest rundown of all the top news stories for the war. Again, join the YouTube channel. It is supporter and member Saturday, 1 day a week, as you guys have been tuned in for 87 days. So you guys should know by now, if you're new to the channel, again, 1 day a week. This gives back to the viewers that support monthly, and you get to know the supporter community. We have a supporter Facebook group. We a bunch of video game streams, a whole Snack Squad community. Shout out to our Snack Squad community of supporters. So go ahead, join the channel. Make sure you grab the badge on Facebook. I'll see you guys after the short intro. All right, everybody, welcome back again. Night 87 of coverage of the war in Ukraine. I'm your host, Andy Mercado. We've been covering this war since the very beginning, the very initial night of the invasion. We're nearing night 90, but all right, here we are on 87. So just to give you guys a quick update on what the Russians are doing, again, because that's important to keep an eye on and keep updated on where the Russian military is at in the country and what their goals are, because they're not leaving Ukraine. So as of May 21st, Russian forces intensified efforts to encircle and capture Severodonetsk on May 21st and will likely continue to do so in the coming days as efforts on other axes of advance, including Izium, remain largely stalled. So here's Izium on our map. All right, I'm going to go zoom in over here. South of Kharkiv, in between or north of the Donbass. Excuse me, it's in the central Donbass. It's north of Donetsk and Luhansk, to clarify. Here's the city of Izium. Russian troops in Luhansk Oblast will likely move to capitalize on recent gains made in the Rubenzine Severodonetsk Luhansk Popasna arc to encircle and besiege Severodonetsk, the final Ukrainian strongpoint in Luhansk Oblast. Russian mill bloggers are hypothesizing, that's the full word, on the success of Russian tactics in the area and have dubbed it the Battle of Severodonetsk, emphasizing that this is the preliminary line of effort in the Donbass theater. Key takeaways: Russian forces are conducting operations to cut off Ukrainian ground lines of communication between Severodonetsk, Lysychansk across the Seversky Donetsk River. The information space in Mariupol will likely become increasingly restricted in the coming weeks as Russian forces shift from completing the capture as Azovstal steel plant to consolidating occupational control of the city. So, here's the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol. All right, on our map, Azovstal steel plant. The information space in Mariupol will likely become increasingly restricted in the coming weeks as Russian forces shift from completing the capture of the Azovstal steel plant to consolidating operational control of the city. Here's the rest of Mariupol here on our map. I haven't used this map in a while. It comes in handy. Here's the rest of Mariupol. 3D map. Thank you so much, Baldi, for joining the channel. Russian troops are likely reinforcing their grouping around Kharkiv city to prevent further Ukrainian advances towards the international border. So let's go up to Kharkiv. There's actually some live cameras in the city still. So here's the city of Kharkiv. Let's look at it on our war map. You guys can see the red is Russian-occupied region still in Kharkiv, in the Kharkiv Oblast, and around the country. It keeps up with our live map, the war map, so. Russian forces may be assembling forces in certain areas of Zaporizhia and Kherson Oblasts to initiate further offensive operations in the southern axes. That's down here. Here's Crimea. Again, this is the dark space, so this is a little easier to translate, I suppose, than the other map that we use. So the extra dark region is Crimea. That's been annexed since 2014. That's to the south of the map. Then you got Luhansk and Donetsk over here. This is Donetsk, and this is Luhansk, and it's extra dark because it's also been occupied since 2014. And then the lightly shaded red regions are all territories that Russia has gained and lost, because this isn't updated up here. They've lost all this. So none of this up here, but all of this over here still is territory that they've gained since the invasion. Here, I'll give you guys a better updated look. They haven't changed the Kyiv region yet. Here it is. So all of the blue, or if you want to call it dark gray, is territories liberated from Russian forces. So they did gain all of this, but then lost it. So they no longer hold these territories within Ukraine. They're being pushed further in the Donbass to the east. So all of this over here is what's called the Donbass, to the far east of Ukraine. Okay. And then also over here, why this region is red, this is Transnistria. Breakaway region of Moldova, recognized by only Russia. And then this is what it looks like on our map, if you're wondering why there's random red over here. That's been a breakaway region according to Russia, and actually the far right in Ukraine, because they fought together, which is ironic, and they were able to break away in 1992. So that was a little bit further back in history than Crimea and Luhansk and Donetsk. All right. So again, the main effort for the Russian forces is Eastern Ukraine, comprised of one subordinate of 3 supporting efforts. The subordinate main effort is encirclement of Ukrainian troops in the cauldron between Izium, Donetsk, and Luhansk Oblasts. And that cauldron is this region, which Russian forces did gain some ground in Popasna, which is a mix of Russian troops and private military companies, the Wagner Group. The Wagner Group was the group that seized this city, and I need to look a little bit further to see if it was actual Russian soldiers that are gaining further ground in here. But the last that I had seen in pictures of the admin buildings, it was the Wagner private military group. So that is the subordinate main effort, is gaining ground in here, and Russia is gaining minor ground still. It's very minuscule, but it's evened out if you want to do like a tit for tat in terms of territory, because Ukraine is just hammering Russia up here in the northeast, Donbass and Kharkiv. They're getting villages. They're liberating villages every day. All right. So as much as Russia's gaining increment ground in this white space in the Donbass, it's Ukraine just is gaining all their ground back up here, so they're likely to reinforce their soldiers for a bigger counteroffensive, because they need to clean this up, especially close to the border of Russia. And Belgorod in Russia has just been given this border hell since the start of the invasion. Belgorod has just been a pain in the ass for Ukraine. Same with Belarus. All right. Supporting effort 1 is Mariupol, gaining gaining command, climate, and control of the city of Mariupol. They do not have it. The people of Mariupol are revolting. They don't have it. They don't have any control over the city at this time. So that's one of their main focuses. Kharkiv city, that's another one of their subordinate efforts. Likely not going to happen with that one. All right. Again, Ukraine is retaking territories on a weekly basis over here, retaking villages. And then supporting effort number 3 is the southern axes, which that will likely get increased over the Kharkiv city subordinate effort, because I just don't see Kharkiv city getting taken by Russian forces at all. They're just continuing to push them further towards the border of Russia, and then more Russian forces are regrouping to the south Donbass to fight along this line here. All right, so I'm going to explain the main effort, and this is all from the Institute of the Law of War. They do a pretty good assessment on what the hell the Russians are doing here, because we go through the entire breakdown of the latest of the Ukraine combat footage. So subordinate main effort, Southern Kharkiv. So this is for Eastern Ukraine. Southern Kharkiv, Donetsk, Luhansk Oblasts. Russian objective: encircle Ukrainian forces in Eastern Ukraine and capture the entirety of Donetsk and Luhansk Oblasts, the claimed territory of Russia's proxies in Donbass. Russian forces have made small advances in southeast Izium on May 21st. Footage posted by the Donetsk People's Republic on May 21st showed DNR forces examining a destroyed dam in Ovskil, about 10 kilometers southeast of Izium, suggesting that Ukrainian forces likely withdrew from the settlement across the Oskil River. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces around Izium are preparing to resume an offensive in the direction of Sloviansk. Russian forces additionally shelled Velkia Komashunavka, I don't even know if I did that one right, to the southwest of Izium, and Dovenki to the southeast of Izium, indicating they plan to continue operations to the south of Izium. So let's look up some of these cities here. It's a lot of cities that I didn't recognize. Russian forces additionally shelled Velka, Vomya, Ushavka. I didn't do that one right. Let's see where this one's at. To be to the southeast of Izium, according to the update. Yeah. No, southwest. It's to the southwest. Yep, that was right. Sorry, I read it wrong. That one's to the southwest of Izium. So they were right. I'm wrong. There's Velka Komya Shuvhaka. That's what this village is called here. So read that one more time. Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces around Izium are preparing to resume an offensive in the direction of Sloviansk. Okay, let's get an idea where Sloviansk is. So again, here's Izium. Very crucial city. Very crucial city in this war. It's gone back. It went back and forth in the early days, but it's been in Russia-controlled territory for as of late. So let's get Sloviansk in the maps. Thank you to everybody that's been sending super chats and super stickers and stars on Facebook. Thank you to everyone. So here's Sloviansk. South of Izium, and then if we look at our war map, here it is, the next largest city south of Izium, and then you got Kramatorsk south of that, and Kramatorsk was the city that the Russians shelled the railway station and killed 50 civilians. So that's Kramatorsk. Just when you think of Kramatorsk, think of that railway station, and Sloviansk is the city north of it. It's a very crucial, very key city that they're fighting back and forth over. Russian forces additionally shelled Velka Kumashyavka southwest of Izium and Dovenki to the southeast of Izium. So these are the two cities that they shelled. They shelled Velka, Komya Shuhavka, and Dovenki. Let's see where that is really quick. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. All right. I see Oskil. There's Oskil. DNR forces destroyed a dam there. There's the Oskil River. Russian forces made gains in Rubenzin, Severodonetsk, Lysychansk area and intensified efforts to capture Severodonetsk on May 21st. Russian forces blew up a bridge across the Seversky Donetsk River between Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, setting conditions to sever Ukrainian ground lines of communication to take Severodonetsk. Pro-Russian mill bloggers wrote about the beginning of the Battle of Severodonetsk on May 20th and claimed that Russian forces are closing in on the area to the north, east, and south. The mill bloggers emphasized the importance of disrupting Ukrainian Glocks between Lysychansk and Severodonetsk, which are facilitated by at least two major bridges across the Seversky Donetsk River. Russian forces destruction of at least two of the bridges between the two towns will likely hinder Ukrainian Glocks to Severodonetsk and indicate that a Russian effort to encircle the city. The Glock means ground lines of communication. Okay, so when I say GLOC, ground line of communication. So should I just say ground line of communication every time? So Russian forces' destruction of at least two of the bridges between the two towns will likely hinder Ukrainian ground lines of communication to Severodonetsk and indicate a Russian effort to encircle the city. Russian forces reportedly conducted attacks against several towns around Popasna, which may allow them to push northward towards Severodonetsk. Russians' claims about their gains around Popasna remain unconfirmed by open sources as of the time of this publication. So it's still unconfirmed. It's just sources. It's just coming from their mill bloggers. It still gives you an idea of what they think. Russian forces focused on offensive operations around Lyman but did not make any confirmed advances on May 21st. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russian forces fighting in Lvivpro. So let's get this region. Get this on the map. That doesn't make sense. Reported Russian troops are fighting in Livpro. Where's this one at? Vaslivka. Let me make sure I'm in the right region. Sometimes there's multiple city names. That's south of Zaporizhia. Marinka. Get Marinka on the map. So these are spaces all across the map here. So here's Marinka and Novo Yamahalivka. Novo Hamyalivka. I totally butchered that one. And then this city. That's not right. There we go. And Donetsk. Under air and artillery support, and that Russian forces plan to resume operations in the area of Yampil-Seversk, just east of Lyman. By crossing the Seversky Donetsk River, the main Russian effort in the Lyman area will likely focus on advancing westward to reach the Donetsk-Kharkiv Oblast administrative border and merge with operations to the south of Izium. This is supporting effort number 1 update of Mariupol. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed full control of Mariupol as the last group of Ukrainian fighters surrendered and left the Azovstal steel plant on May 21st. The announcement of the conclusion of hostilities in Mariupol comes a month after Russian President Vladimir Putin and Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu claimed victory in the Battle of Mariupol on April 21st. Russian forces reportedly began demining the territory of the plant and restoring the port of Mariupol. Russian occupation forces are likely intensifying filtration processes to consolidate control of Mariupol. City of Mariupol, southeastern port city. There you go. City of Mariupol. Russian occupation forces are intensifying filtration processes to consolidate control of Mariupol. Ukrainian ombudsman Ludmila Denisova stated that up to 4,000 men from Mariupol are now in filtration camps outside the city. An advisor to the mayor of Mariupol, Petro Andriushenko, claimed that Chechen Rozgavierda troops are taking over control of filtration points as DNR, which is the Donetsk separatists, forces redeploy to other areas. The information space in Mariupol will likely become increasingly restricted in the coming weeks as Russian forces shift their attention from the capture of the Azovstal to consolidating occupational control over the city. Supporting effort number 2, Kharkiv City. Russian forces withdraw forces to the north and defend ground lines of communication, Glocks, ground lines of communication to Izium. Russian forces maintained their positions to prevent further Ukrainian advances toward the Russian border and conducted air and artillery strikes north of Kharkiv City on May 21st. That's this little pocket of space here north of Kharkiv that the Russian forces still hold. You can see the Ukrainians are trying to encircle their position here, trying to cut them off at the border. Excuse me. Russian forces maintained their positions to prevent further Ukrainian advances toward the Russian border and conducted air and artillery strikes north of Kharkiv City on May 21st. The Ukrainian General Staff noted that Russia intends to strengthen its grouping around Kharkiv City with unspecified elements of 1st Guards Tank Army. The internal minister of the Luhansk People's Republic additionally claimed that its personnel are operating in Vovchansk, northern Kharkiv Oblast. These reports indicate that Russian forces are reinforcing their presence north of Kharkiv City to hold current positions and push back potential Ukrainian advances further northward toward the international border and east towards Russian ground lines of communication heading towards Izium. Supporting effort number 3, the Southern Axis. Objective, defend Kherson against Ukrainian counterattacks. We're going down to Kherson here, where you can see a lot of Ukraine's been liberating more villages left and right here between Mykolaiv and Kherson. The Russian forces have tried Mykolaiv multiple times and have failed, and have lost more territory every time that they've tried to make a push on Mykolaiv. They just haven't been able to at all. Russian forces may be preparing for an offensive to capture the remainder of northern Kherson Oblast and push towards Zaporizhia City. So let's see here, look at Zaporizhia City. Here. Despite not making any confirmed advances on the southern axis on May 21st. They haven't made any advances at all in the south. The Kherson Regional State Administration stated that Russian troops are replenishing their groups in Vitsopolikia and Arkhangельsk in the northern. That's here. There we go. I could see that one right away. So in this region, right here, these two. Bang. Arkia, Helinsky, and Vitsiopilia. So this little pocket of territory that Russia occupies here. And then again, the blue is territories liberated from Russian forces. So you got Ukrainian forces and Russian forces going at it here, north of Kherson. Actually be northeast of Kherson. The Kherson Regional State Administration stated that Russian troops are replenishing their groupings in these two cities. Okay, again, I butchered their names. In the northern Kherson Oblast, in anticipation of increased combat activity in the northern Kherson-Mykolaiv Oblast border. The Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration noted that there is a high concentration of Russian forces in Insyrzhyn, south of Huliopol. Okay, I'm going to have to look and see where that is. These are some new city names. I have not seen or said these city names. Bear with me. Okay, so eyeball it. Trying to find it on the war map. There it is, right? Huliopol. That's not the exact spot, but I see Huliopol where it says. So here's Huliopol. Here it is on the map, right here. These two cities, just north of Russian-occupied territory. So here's Huliopol and Zalichny. Totally messed that up. Russian troops are indicating, so I'll start over with that. The Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration noted that there is a high concentration of Russian forces in Syria, this city, this one, south of Huliopol, indicating Russian troops are potentially preparing for continued offensives towards Huliopol. Here's Huliopol. Zoom out a little bit, give you guys an idea of where it's at. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit now. So here's Huliopol. The Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration claimed that occupying forces in Melitopol are hanging banners to celebrate the 220th anniversary of the Tarudia Governorate, which may indicate Russian forces intend to make occupied areas in Kherson and Zaporizhzhia a quasi-republic like the LNR and DNR, but also emphasizes lack of consistency in handling occupation agendas across Ukraine. For real. Russian forces additionally shelled and launched missile strikes in Mykolaiv, Odessa, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson Oblast. Maybe are they just doing their own thing in each region of the conflict? In the southern axes, and the eastern axes, and the northeastern. They failed miserably to the north. This was fail up here. Are they think they're just freestyling it at this point? So they're looking to make the Kherson Oblast and Melitopol. So north of Crimea, which they should have just include Crimea with that too, because it was the exact same thing that happened in Luhansk and Donetsk. So they're trying to do what they did to Crimea and Luhansk and Donetsk in this region here, Melitopol and Kherson. Russian forces additionally shelled and launched missile strikes on Mykolaiv, Odessa, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson. Ukrainian authorities are reportedly strengthening border security between Ukraine and Transnistria. Again, that's that breakaway region. Here's Transnistria. Talked about it at the beginning of the stream. The local Ukrainian border guard detachment announced new restrictions prohibiting the civilian use of drones, night vision equipment, and navigation of small boats in the area. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Ukrainian forces are protecting the border and conducting counter-sabotage measures. These are some immediate items to watch. Russian forces likely reinforcing their grouping north of Kharkiv city to prevent further advances of the Ukrainian counteroffensive towards the Russian border. That's the group in Belarus. Interesting. Russian forces may commit elements of the 1st Tank Army to northern Kharkiv in the near future to help with this pocket that Ukraine's about to cut them off from the rest of the battle tactical groups that they have here. They're going to cut this group off in here. The Russians will continue to efforts to encircle Severodonetsk and Lyshansk from the south, possibly focusing on cutting off the last highway connecting Severodonetsk and Lyshansk with the rest of Ukraine. That's the Glocks. Those Glocks, ground lines of communication, also supply lines. That's in the Donbass region. Crucial ground in here. The white space in here, south of Izium, north of Horlivka, north of Donetsk. It would be west of Luhansk. Crucial ground that Ukraine and Russia is fighting over here. So if you want to know where like the intensive, like the biggest fighting is between ground forces and World War I style like trench warfare, artillery, I mean howitzers. It's World War I in 2022 in this region, but they also have, you know, futuristic abilities like drones and satellite images and things that, you know, modern day equipment, but it still is very much like World War I in this region. Trench warfare, artillery, and howitzers. So that's where most of the big guns and all the major fighting is at. But again, there's fighting in the north here still in Kharkiv near the border, pushing the Russian forces back as their battle tactical groups regroup to the south. And the fighting is in the Russian forces are just failing to anything in here. But there's fighting between Kherson and Mykolaiv. Ground fighting. All right, that is the map update. We're going to be getting into our war clips. Thank you so much, Nora, for that super chat. We're going to be getting into the war clips of the day starting now. Thank you to our veterans that tune in and everybody that has served. We have an amazing veteran community here on Mercado Media. I'm a veteran as well. I served in the U.S. Army, so big props, big credit to all of our veterans in the chat. Thank you so much for choosing Mercado Media to tune into. Thank you. Again, yeah, just big props to you, to all y'all. If you are a veteran, comment your branch, comment your years of service, and your MOS. I coach softball today, so my voice is like nearly gone. Big apologies. I'm battling through it. So let's get into the first clip here. Video of a Russia Mi-28 attack helicopter in Ukraine, equipped with both S-8 and S-13 rockets. We got to keep an eye on the wind today. No wind noises, no wind audio. I got my stream taken down on Facebook for wind last week. So this is a Mi-28 helicopter. Russian.
Машина себя зарекомендовала очень хорошо, у нее очень хороший пилотажно-навигационный комплекс и совместно с системой управления оружием позволяет применять различные виды вооружения в автоматическом режиме, при котором прицельное прицеливание осуществляется в автоматическом режиме без участия летчика. Это повышает точность применения вооружения и минимизирует расход боеприпасов. Противник в основном применяет ПЗРК в больших количествах, им поставили из-за границы. Это осложняет выполнение поставленных боевых задач. Приходится применять вооружение с максимальных дальностей, даже иногда вне визуальной видимости, по заранее запрограммированным целям. Сейчас нам промышленность предоставила новую прошивку на этот вертолет. Это очень упрощает применение вооружения и повышает точность применения вооружения. Был полет ночью в сложных метеорологических условиях. Задача была уничтожение скопления техники.
There's a couple of variants of helicopters that Russia's using. They have the Mi-28, the Mi-35. They're using the Alligator. That's the Ka-52. That's the dual rotor. But again, this one's the Mi-28. Yep, Mi-28N attack helicopter.
И опознание цели было опознано два бронетранспортера
United States Navy,
противника.
thank you for your service, Forrest.
Применили управляемую ракету, а также неуправляемая ракета типа С-8Ком. Цели были успешно поражены в двух заходах с разных направлений.
A long-winded video. Russia mixes their training videos in with their propaganda. All right, next clip. Russian Orlan 10 UAV footage of Russian multiple launch rocket strikes on Ukrainian positions in the Lyman area. Oh. Facebook gone immediately. That's how they are though. No. Gotta cut back the music noises. Facebook literally is not playing anymore. Mark Zuckerberg can't afford to lose any copyright money. No free lunch. Whatever. So this is the Lyman area. Let's look that up really quick. Get that on the map. I pulled Lyman up a few times, so let's refresh our memory. So here's Lyman, north of Donetsk. So it'd be in the Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, that white space. This is in that white space, that cauldron of towns and cities that they're battling over. In the Lyman area. So it'd be to the northeast of Sloviansk. Here's Lyman. See a lot of helicopter videos coming out of Lyman in this region here. A lot of the helicopter videos from Russia. Here's a video of a Ukrainian SSO Stugna P ATGM strike on a Russia armored vehicle. Ah. Stream taken down immediately right there. That was it. Kidding, I better stop kidding. I'll actually take it down. So you can look up in the top left. We're gonna watch this one again, but look up in the top left, and it does a simultaneous video of the when it hits and the launch from the Stugna P. Right along the tree line, and you can see some cope logs were on that vehicle, or at least they were about to equip it with some cope logs. Let's get this video back one more time. So look in the upper left corner of this video, of this clip, for the simultaneous. Good evening, Jessica. Good evening, Margaret. Good evening, good evening. All right. Direct hit. Right next to a trench line. Russian armored vehicle right next to a trench and a little fighting position that they have set up there, it looks like, with some trails leading to more of them. So that strike led to probably a strike on that trench system. Here we got a video of Ukrainian Stugna P Javelin ATGM strikes on Russian vehicles by paratroopers from Ukraine's 80th Assault Brigade. Oops. Nope. Facebook does not play around anymore. What the hell is a cope? Cope. Sorry. I have a speech impediment. They have cope cages, cope logs, cope pillows, cope radiators. Alright, some more Stugna P video here. Cope MREs, yeah, there you go. Direct hit. Now the only coke that we've seen in my streams have been the Johnny Depp trial and the CNN news team when the invasion was in week 1. You were watching live streams in Kyiv. It was an interesting few nights listening in. Russian S-300 PM series air defense TELs in the Luhansk Oblast. That's some of the bigger rocket trucks in Luhansk. Hey, Love Karma, good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Become a member or a supporter on Facebook to chat today. It is Member and Supporter Saturday. The stream is still available for everybody to tune in, though, whether you're a member or a supporter or not. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. Got a whole convoy of them. Hope they brought enough fuel. A whole convoy of them. The air defense TELs, S-300s. Video of artillery strikes from Ukraine's 63rd Mechanized Brigade on Russian vehicles. Ukraine strikes on Russian vehicles. They don't really hide them in woodline very thick. They always hide them and they put their vehicles in the thinnest piece of... Oh, wow. They put them in the thinnest piece of concealment because, like, it's not... That's all that you have is really concealment out there with these UAVs. It's... Man. Cover's tough. What are you going to do? Best you can do is try to conceal yourself the best way you can. Hey, Matt, thank you so much. Welcome to Snack Size. Oh, wow. Look at that one. Again, these are Ukrainian strikes on Russian vehicles. They put them in the thinnest piece of tree line. There's like strips of tree line, and Russia puts their trucks in them. Right off the road. Those are some fighting positions, though. Set up some road security. So this is the 63rd Mechanized Brigade. Ukraine's 63rd Mechanized Brigade destroying Russian vehicles. Let's run that back one more time. Thank you, Dieter Herfert, with the $7.99 super chat. Thank you. Couldn't do it without the viewer support. Seriously. Hoping to acquire a sponsor soon. That was the biggest strike right there. The mushroom cloud on that one. But again, they don't hide their vehicles off the main road or the main. They're not trained in on where to put their vehicles or how to avoid this. I guess it's tough with these drones now. Really, where are you going to put your vehicles at? But to put them in that thin of a tree line, I mean, like you can see the vehicle here. You can see this vehicle in potato quality because the tree line's so thin. You can see it moving here. And potato video. Look right here. Trying to get the hell up out of there. Very easy to see. Even in this shitty of a quality. Dang. Big strikes by the 63rd Mechanized Brigade for Ukraine. And you got trench system. And likely, I mean, they got a fighting position. Actually, looks like they actually have a couple trucks in those trenches. So maybe some artillery, an artillery position. They put those trucks in there. All right, Ukrainian Mi-24 helicopters firing rockets in the air. So we had Mi-28. What was the first one? Mi-28. Yep, this was an Mi-28N. This is an Mi-24. Firing rockets into the air towards Russian positions. These are Ukrainian helicopters, okay? And again, they raise the nose up to get further distance on the rockets. Hey, Mike from Northern Washington, or Renton, Washington. Good to have you. Wow. The amount of helicopter battles from this war that are going to go in history as well, in history books. The biggest helicopter battle. I mean, there's helicopter battles daily in Donbass, but the biggest one was the Hostomel airport seizure. Goodness, big helicopter battles. Continuing on, video reportedly showing the aftermath of artillery strikes by Ukraine's 80th Air Assault Brigade on 3 Russian armored vehicles. DJ Alrad with a $2.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm going to be buying one of these drones. The 3rd generation just came out. So what we're looking at here is, again, the 80th Assault Brigade on 3 Russian armored vehicles. Ukraine's 80th Assault Brigade. That building's likely no good anymore as well. Had a motor pool behind it. Whole line of vehicles. Chain reaction. Next video. Here we got a Rozgavirda Tiger M vehicle with improvised armor. I'd like to take a look at some of the various ways the Russian military tries to accessorize or provide further armor capabilities to their vehicles through various means. I mean, we've seen radiators, from radiators to pillows. They've used pillows. Looks like they use the front end of another piece of a vehicle. Straight Mad Max vehicles that they got going on. What do we got here? Photo of the Admiral Kutsinov at the new dry dock at the Zirochka Ship Repair Center. What does this mean? Looks like the Admiral Kutsinov is finally being moved to the newly formed dry dock at the Zachova Ship Repair Center in Murmansk. United Shipbuilding Corporation's Alexei Ramkov confirmed that the Admiral Kutsinov has docked in Severomorsk. All the Kutsinov's gas turbines engines require overhaul, which are reportedly will take 10 to 11 months. And this is Rob Lee. He's an open source intelligence guy. Just any information that he comes up with, he puts it in a nice timeline. You can find all this information anywhere on the internet, but he just puts it in a really nice timeline for the day. Does a really good job. So another ship, Admiral Kutsinov. Is there any memes? The second dry dock. The first one sunk. I'm sure there will be ship memes. Video of Russian helicopters firing rockets into the air at Ukrainian positions. You can see some of the flares deployed. More helicopter battle footage in Donbass. Russian helicopters firing rockets into the air. Helicopter battles. You can see all the smoke on the ground. Can't imagine air quality in Donbass is very good at all. See the flares being used. Hey, Shelly. Oh, Miguel Caspin with the big subscribe. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you, Miguel, for subscribing. Again, y'all, tonight is Supporter Saturday. We have a lot of members that support the channel, that help keep me reporting, independent journalist. So tonight is the only night the chat is set to members only. Every other night the chat is open for everyone. Alright, air assault video of 2 Stug-to-P ATGM strikes on Russian vehicles by Ukraine's 80th Air Assault Brigade. So another Stug-to-P brigade.
Дан! Дозвол давай.
Okay. Almost. And the music came in though. I wasn't ready. Nope. Play the beginning part though. Beginning part didn't have music.
Дан! Дан! Дозвол давай.
Alright. Next video. Video of artillery strikes on 2 LNR T-64 BV tanks by Ukraine's 24th Mechanized Brigade. So you got artillery strikes on 2 Russian T-64 tanks. The old ones. Those ones are old boys. Those are the tanks that you see if you guys, some of y'all tune into my Metal Gear Solid playthrough every night on my gaming channel. Those are those tanks. Groznygrad tanks. Hey, Damien. All right, one more time. Video of artillery strikes on 2 LNR T-64 BV tanks by Ukraine's 24th Mechanized Brigade. Ukraine's artillery strikes on Russian tanks. There are Russian tanks getting blown up here in this video. Right in the middle of the intersection. All right. Next clip. Russian Grad multiple launch rocket strikes in the Izium area. So these are Russian strikes on Izium. I want to look at the map really quick. Here's Izium. South of Kharkiv, north of Donetsk. Hey, thank you, Tara, for the like. Thank you so much for interacting with the stream. No audio on this clip at all. All right. Here we got Ukrainian UAV video showing artillery strikes on Russian position with a number of Russian T-72B and T-72B3 tanks, MTLBs, and other vehicles. That song is a good song. It's copyrighted now, though. Oh, wow. There's a T-72, T-73. Is that the MTLB on fire? There's the T-72B3, I mean. There's the MTLB. MTLB's right there. Goodness. One more time on that one. They circled all of the vehicles and then just started the strikes. Yep. It's the Pink Floyd version. That is copyright for sure. There you go. See if we can get around it like 1 second. If they copyright it for 1 second, I'm gonna be so mad. Just put the hey hey. Just put the song on in your headphones for every Ukraine clip. You see the guy, Russian troop running out too. All right, next clip. Video of Ukrainian Javelin ATGM strike on a Russian vehicle. Oh, I did, Julie, right at the end. Yeah, they did stop the stream because of the wind. The wind audio from the last one. But we got it restored. Next clip. Video reportedly showing the aftermath of Russian naval infantry logistics convoy in Luhansk Oblast that was targeted by Ukrainian forces. So you got a Ukrainian Or excuse me, you got a Russian convoy destroyed by Ukrainian artillery. Oh my goodness, wow. Oh. Wow. Absolutely destroyed. No doubt about it on that one. Every single one. No doubt about it in that convoy. All right. Next one. You got Russian Grad multiple launch rocket system strike on Ukrainian targets in Zolote with incendiary munitions. Is that all smoke in the whole area? Wow. Wow.
КТД-90 мы используем для снаряда 9М22С зажигательные.
What are those called? In Zolote with the incendiary munitions. Video of a Russian missile strike on a building in Lazova in the Kharkiv Oblast. This was on May 20th. This was yesterday. Wow. That car just narrowly missed that. I need to look into this one a little further. Oh my goodness. Wow. One more time, look at the car in the street. This is in the Kharkiv Oblast. My goodness. Got the car too. It just got out. Oh my god. Wonder if there's further on this. Pause. Video of the strike here. So here's video. Here's more video. Aftermath. So here we go. Let's go into this one a little bit further. In Lazova. This is on the 20th. Pull it up on the map so you get an idea of where it is. Red marker. So it'll be to the northeast of Dnipro. Here's Dnipro. Lazova. South of Kharkiv. Directly south. Alright, so let's hear some more video of that. Wow, what a strike that was. Here's the aftermath of the strike. See the building. Possibly from a KH-22 missile launched by a Russian Tu-22M3 bomber. So this is what the missile as allegedly looks like, that struck the cultural center. The Palace of Culture in the Kharkiv region was hit by a missile. This was May 20th. According to preliminary information, 7 people were wounded, including an 11-year-old child, according to Viktor Zabashta, director of the Center of Emergency Medical Care. The City Cultural Center. What is it called? It's called the Palace of Culture. Can't be right. Anybody have the geolocation of the palace? Here it is. Take long. Shout out to the comments. I'm trying to pull this up on our map so we can just go right to it. Okay. All right, let's go on the ground at the palace here. So this is the building that was hit. Palace of Culture in Lazova. This picture was taken in June of 2021. The Ukrainian flag flying. Another view of the building over here. This picture was taken in March of 2021. So it looks like it was just recently added on or renovated. Looks like a new building. I love Lazova. Then you look at, you got the Soviet block apartments across from it. Cameras coming from up there. Or from one of the corners of the apartments from across. Down the street or around the corner. You got a nice park here, it looks like. There's a park next to the Palace of Culture. Here's the other side of it. It was just being renovated or built in 2021. It's a new building. It appears to be a new building. Here it is in June of 2021. They had a fountain. Wow. Azova. Renovated. All right, let's move on. So that was on May 20th. So that would have been Friday night. I missed that update. So I think let's look at the possible missile again that likely struck the building. KH-22 missile. Right. Next clip. Chechen forces in the Donbass with Ural federal truck and captured Ukrainian Varta armored vehicles. Chechen forces in the Donbass. The Donbass is to the east of Ukraine. More time. So this is again Chechen forces in the Donbass with the Ural Federal truck captured Ukrainian Varta armored vehicles. So these are some captured vehicles that the Russian forces, or excuse the Chechen forces, seized from Ukraine. Chechen fighters that are fighting for Russia. Oh, Mehmet. Mehmet, thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. Mehmet. Welcome, welcome. The Z on the door, the Chechen flag, or the flag, or the Kadyrov flag on top. All right, oops. Next clip. Video of Ukrainian ATGM strike on a Russian Ural 4320 truck. So similar looking vehicle that was in the convoy. So you got a Russian Ural 4320 truck in Rubizine. God dang. Oh shit. Oh.
Результат.
That was dang. Oh, that dude did not expect that at all. So right on the Russian truck. Dude got in the truck straight on. Azov fighters targeted a Russian BMP-2 with an NLAW.
Вот, вот. Откусишь. За пригорком. Пострел.
Where was? Your friend in Zaporizhia said there was dozens of explosions during the night. This night or the previous night, Mehmet? I first destroyed Russian armored vehicle. I destroyed it by NLAW.
Откусишь. За пригорком.
Behind the hills.
Пострел. Влучання. Попав.
Target destroyed. There's the tank that he hit. Oh, that's not a tank. What is it? A BMP. John. Hey, we have Metal Gear Solid scheduled after this stream. Gaming stream scheduled after this on our gaming channel. Scheduled at 9:15. And it's not going to be slow motion. I fixed it. Fixed the problem from last night. So now here we go. Ukrainian Stugna P ATGM strike on a Russian BMP. Sorry. Such a good track. Please Facebook. It was like 2 seconds, I swear. They're putting Grand Theft Auto music to their videos now. No, they're pros with this Stugna P. BMP coming right down the road. It was pretty easy strike on this video though. Had to lead them on a straight line. Some of the shots that Ukrainians have hit have hit helicopters, they've hit airplanes, some fast moving targets, or some targets that weren't necessarily meant to be hit with this thing. Russian Orlan 10 UAV footage showing artillery strikes on a building, possibly by Krasnopol rounds. This is a Russian video showing Krasnopol rounds being used. Gary, that was from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Russian 2S4 Tupolev 240mm heavy mortars in the Severodonetsk area. Again, this is that white space, that cauldron, if you will, that of all the towns and villages between Izium and Donetsk and Luhansk, that Russia, that just fighting every day, intense fighting in that region. 2S7 and 2S4 have better penetration against fortified positions than 152mm artillery. Heavy mortars.
Задача артиллеристов уничтожить один из мостов через Северский Донецк, который соединяет Северодонецк и Лисичанск. Вот для этого используют 240-миллиметровый миномет. Бьют по мосту, который расположен в 5 километрах отсюда. Для того, чтобы формирование киевского режима не могли перебрасывать с западного берега на восточный подкрепления и боеприпасы.
So one more time on this. Let's actually look this up. A Russian 2S4 Tupolev 240mm. Let's look up what that is, because I don't think I've seen that. They have so many different artillery trucks and artillery vehicles. I'll figure out what this is. Monstrous Russian artillery. That one looks a little different. Where's the Tupolev one? That one's not the Tupolev. That's their other giant artillery cannon. Oh, DJ Elred matched. Keep it going. Thank you so much, DJ Elred. Russia uses 240mm Tupolev. Wonder if that World Army Club is gonna be good then. The 2S4 Tupolev 240mm mortar can destroy fortified buildings that are 20 kilometers away. This is from the World Army Club. The 2S4 Tupolev, often spelled Tupolev, Russian 2C4, is a Soviet 240mm self-propelled heavy mortar. 2S4 is a GRAU designation. Tupolev is the largest mortar system in use today. The self-propelled 2S4 Tupolev, Russian for tulip, is currently the heaviest mortar deployed in the world. Designed in 1975, it was used in the Afghan and Chechen conflicts. 5 crewmen are required to deploy the mortar into firing position. The mortar can swiftly change its location after launching an attack against the enemy. The 240mm mortar is capable of destroying fortified buildings and the enemy's manpower and armor at a distance of up to 20 kilometers. The 2S4 can fire the 276-pound Smerchak, Russian for daredevil shell, which is guided by a separate laser designator. Russia has over 400 units that are gradually being brought back into service after being stored for a long time. They're being brought back into Ukraine. So that's what this Russian 2S4 Tupolev 240mm
Задача артиллеристов
mortar
уничтожить
vehicle
один
is.
из мостов через Северский Донецк, который соединяет Северодонецк и Лисичанск. Вот для этого используют 240-миллиметровый миномет. Бьют по мосту, который расположен в 5 километрах отсюда. Для того, чтобы формирование киевского режима не могли перебрасывать с западного берега на восточный подкрепления и боеприпасы.
Oh, Thomas matched from a genetically modified houseplant. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Elrad and John. Russian VDV troops with a BMD-4M and a BTR MDM vehicles with O markers. And a convoy. You can see the V and the O. Likely due to combined battle tactical groups from the north. They just use both indicators now with some vehicles. Video reportedly showing a Russian Iskander-M strike on a Ukrainian position near Petrovsky in the Kharkiv Oblast. So Kharkiv Oblast, northeastern Ukraine, Russian Iskander strike on Ukrainian positions. You got Russian artillery on Ukrainian troops. That was a big strike there. Big strike there. B Baldy with a $20 super chat. Match from an old rod. Thank you, B Baldy. Next video. Video of a 4 Stugna P ATGM strikes on Russian vehicles. The second was previously recorded. Oh, okay. More videos here. Okay, 4 Stugna P strikes on Russian vehicles. The second was previously recorded.
Хлопці, ми починаємо роботу, хлопці. Ну що?
Love your coverage, Andrew, and the whole Snack Squad community. Thank you, Elizabeth. Shout out to our Snack Squad community. Nearly 4,000 in the Discord server. Almost 3,000 in our... We saw this video. We saw this one already. Direct hit on that BMP along the road. So this is the one that they were talking about was previously recorded. So there should be 2 more newer clips of this from the Stugna P after this one. Okay. Deborah, I see your comments on Facebook too, though. I have both chats up. I have Facebook and YouTube chat up. Video of a DNR ATGM strike reportedly on Ukrainian positions in the Advidka area. Music. So quick update, if you don't know what the Stugna P is, it's a Ukrainian anti-tank guided missile developed by Luke Design Bureau. It is a guidance device and developed and manufactured by Belarusian Design Bureau, Polang based in Minsk. Also known as a skiff. It can attack both stationary and moving targets. It can attack from both long range up to 5 kilometers in the daytime and close range 100 kilometers. They can attack point targets such as weapon emplacements, lightly armored vehicles, and hovering helicopters. The skiff has 2 targeting modes, manually steered and automated fire and forget that uses no manually tracking of a target. In 2018, an upgraded export variant of the skiff was tested by the Ukrainian military. Now, get Stugna P. Right, next video. Russia at T-72 B3 tank company with BMP-2 R166.5 communications vehicle, MTLB, along with other vehicles. So you got a Russian convoy again. In this convoy, you got a T-72 B3 tank company, BMP-2's R166.5 communications vehicle, and an MTLB along with others. Wonder if they brought enough fuel. Y'all remember the 40-mile long convoy? Y'all remember that one? Hey, thank you, Katie. Just a thank you. Thank you so much for that super chat. That was huge. Thank you so much for your support. Alright, next clip. Video of Russian night artillery strikes on Ukrainian positions in the Kharkiv Oblast. This is to the northeast Donbass. Streams on Mercado Media for the war coverage are a minimum of 2 hours long. We got at least a half hour to go. It looks like we're going to be going over 2 hours. Depending on the war clips, and there's other videos that we have to go into and latest news stuff. I find it oh wow. But after this. Wow. More time. Russian night artillery strikes on Ukrainian positions. Old footage reportedly showing DNR mortar strikes on Ukrainian tank on the outskirts of Mariupol. So again, keep in mind this is older footage, but whenever new footage is released, it's still posted. So older footage, you might have actually seen this around the internet, but if not, this could be a new clip for you outside of Mariupol. Give you an idea of the visuals. It's not like it's changed. There's cleanup efforts in part of the city, not in the suburbs or around outside of the main city. The city of Mariupol. I guess this video is from March, late March, if not early April. Looks like they were just going house to house, destroying everything. So again, that was an older video, Footage reportedly showing DNR mortar strikes on a Ukrainian tank outskirts of Mariupol. Video of a Russian Uran 6 mine clearing UGVs reportedly in use in Luhansk. So they're mine clearing vehicles. Boy, that thing's gonna blow up so hard. It's like a rickety piece of shit. This thing blows up, huh? This is a training video. You got a GoPro on it. But it's not like this is a combat video of it's being used with a GoPro mount. Nora with $1 super chat, thank you. My favorite during one of these was the cameraman was in front of the guy clearing mines. There's one.
Феникс, огонь!
Oh, darn it. Thought I was gonna blow up.
Прям напротив.
Alright. So, here's a Russian propaganda video showing how their mine clearing device works. Reportedly in use in Luhansk, right. Here's a video of a Orlan 10 being targeted. Those Russian spy UAVs. The Nikon D40 camera.
Тупо. Уже хуй только отсюда.
Все, вже не видно його. Та він згорів повністю.
А летить, він не розлетівся на куски падає. По кускам розорвало.
Oh, Gary and B. Baldy. Oh, Elizabeth. Hard to see where. I think when that boom noise is when it hits.
Тупо.
Уже хуй только отсюда.
That one.
Все, вже не видно його. Та він згорів
I was
повністю.
thinking we're gonna see it fall from the sky. So here you got a Russian Orlan 10 UAV footage showing Russian artillery strikes in the Lehman area. Oh my goodness. Music off. Oh, there's always been weekend updates, McFly. I've always gone live on Saturdays. Saturdays is part of the kind of day off for me. Still war on Saturdays. John Bartley, $1.99 super chat. Lynette, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. And Skunka Bacon, $1 super chat. I'm going to be looking for when month of June comes around, we need to do another charity stream. Operator Starsky's been going on all of the channels covering Ukraine. Sure, I could link up with other streamer covering this war, do a charity stream discussion. All right. Russian MOD video of a Black Sea Fleet Project 11-356 class frigate launching a Kaliber missile at a railway station in Zhytomyr. Idea where Zhytomyr is on our map. So Russians shooting missiles at this city, or excuse me, at a railway station. This city. I'm gonna. Pretty far. That's like east. That's like west of Kyiv. Pull this up for you. Go. There it is. So here's Zhytomyr. That's quite a distance for these to travel. West of Kyiv. Okay, switch over. All right, we got Andrew Reese. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining. Then we got a $5 super chat from Katie jumping in to $5 for the message with over 700 people live chat. If everybody sent $1, thank you so much. Thank you, Katie. Julie Robinette, $10. I'll pay you for 9 and mine. Thank you, Julie. Thank you guys all for the viewer support this evening. Video of a BMP tank support combat vehicles reportedly in the Komya-Shuhavka area of Luhansk. More convoys in Luhansk. Convoy videos. This is in the Donbass region. East Ukraine. Thank you, Martez Cheney. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Jay. The more convoy videos, you see a lot of those. A lot of convoy videos in the Donbass. UAV footage reportedly a Russian Iskander-M strike on Ukrainian building in Izium. No audio here. Yes, we've learned the difference between a pledge and a don't promise. Thanks to the trial. Right? Ukrainian soldier firing a Marlet man pads, reportedly at Russian 10 UAV. Excuse me, a Russian Orlan 10 UAV. What happens when Ukraine brings their man pads and Russia doesn't?
Ох ти що. Да, бачу, падає.
Да, блин.
Right? Video of Ukrainian ATGM strike on a BRDM-2 vehicle in the Rubinzine area.
Давай, въезжай.
Oh, that's traveling. Oh, that's traveling.
Левіше, лівіше. Оп.
Dang.
Красота.
See the Z on the back of it. See the Z on the back of it. Video Ukrainian ATGM striking a BRD M2 vehicle in the Rubinstein area. So, Russian vehicle.
Давай, въезжай.
Big Z on the back. Another direct hit.
Лівіше, лівіше. Оп. Красота.
Hit in the rear. Right. Next clip. Ukrainian Stugna P ATGM strike on a Russian MTLB. Ukrainians are getting so good at this.
Рівно її веде.
Direct hit again. Right on the side, right in its tracks. Hit the MTLB right in the tracks.
Рівно її веде.
Direct hit.
Yes.
Next video. Video of Russian artillery strikes reportedly on a Ukrainian position in the Lyman area. Some more strikes in Lyman. Some under a tree. Where do you go? Where do you hide, dude? The vehicle was hit. So again, Russian artillery strikes on Ukrainian position in the Lyman area. Non-accurate artillery that Russia has. Look at the spray. Look at the spread. Their artillery. Saw some soldiers underneath the tree. Try to take cover here underneath this tree, bottom of the video. That van is hit. Looks like it ran over something. Next video showing 2 Russian T-72B3 tanks targeted by Ukrainian artillery, possibly by precision guided rounds. Not sure of the data location. 2 Russian B3 tanks targeted by Ukrainian artillery. Andrew Reese. How much equipment / men before they pull out? Doesn't seem like Russia has a limit. Does not seem like the limit does not exist right now for Russia. But it's not as if Ukraine is backing down either. How could they? How can Ukraine back down when Russia's in their country, occupying villages and cities? All I do is I try to tell y'all, imagine your country, or most of y'all are in a Western country, United States. Imagine a foreign country in your home city, home state. Doubt you would be still fighting. Or excuse me, I bet you'd still be fighting. I doubt you would give up. But you would give up. Take back the. He said, "Hope. Hope you'd fight." Thank you for your service and keeping us informed. Thank you so much, Maggie. First part of the video. Whoa, where's the site? Where's the? Here's the first part. That thing is flying. Is that real? Why does the thing look like it's going? What the hell? Is this video sped up? Video has to be sped up. Okay. Their tactic, the Russians put their vehicles as close to houses. Most of them in the backyard. And big houses. Big, look at the land. Look at you can see it. It's concealment. See it clear as day. UAV right over them. Was the first part, and then they're still pretty visible over top. Next clip. Video showing Russian naval infantry forces in Komia Kavka area. Here. Just in case. Pull it up on the map. Southeast of Zaporizhzhia. Map southeast. South of Donetsk is Zaporizhzhia. Southeast city Avka.
Вместе с морпехами подошли уже к самой Камышевахе. Вот. Окраины населенного пункта. Вот, соответственно, дома. Бои продолжаются рядом, на подступах. Мы же ожидаем, когда можно будет осуществить проход непосредственно уже к самому населенному пункту.
You can see the Z on that. So again, Russian naval infantry forces on the Komia Shuhavka area.
Вместе с морпехами подошли уже к самой Камышевахе. Вот. Окраины населенного пункта. Вот, соответственно, дома. Бои продолжаются рядом, на подступах. Мы же ожидаем, когда можно будет осуществить проход непосредственно уже к самому населенному пункту.
You think the sanctions in Russia need to be permanent? Do you think the sanctions in Russia need to be permanent? That might be the last clip from Rob. Yep, that's the last clip from Rob. Let's go to There's been some more suspicious fires in Russia at the Aerospace Institute. So let's get an update here. Firefighters battle suspicious blaze at Russian Aerospace Institute. More fires in Russia. And then I have an article really quick to read about that. What do you guys think of the increased fires, even more fires in Russia? Multiple viewpoints. I think it's global warming. Regardless, there's more fires in Russia. Get an article. Suspicious fire breaks out at Russian Aerospace Institute that develops fighter jets and rockets in latest blaze to hit your country amid fears of Ukrainian saboteur campaign. Firefighters were today battling a blaze at a major Russian Aerospace Institute. The blaze with thick black smoke was at the Central Aerodynamic Institute in Azovstal, a facility involved in research on Russian warplanes. Research on, oh my god, Russian warplanes research. Can we just get the video, please? I think it's karma. So this was on the 21st. It's the morning of the 22nd in Ukraine, Russia. So this happened daytime on the 21st. Oh, aw, snap. Oh well. Something went wrong on the webpage. Okay. Maybe it was because of all the spam on there. Alright, we got a video here that was sent to our Discord to go through. Uncertainty for Mariupol troops. Russia steps up assault in eastern Ukraine. Thank you to our Discord server that sends these video documents that we can tune into. This is credit to CBC News, The National. Uncertainty for Mariupol troops. Russia steps up assault in eastern Ukraine.
In this video, the latest wave of Ukrainian fighters from Mariupol are brought to the site of a former penal colony. Russia says around 2,000 have surrendered from the Azovstal steel plant and it's now been taken. Those claims haven't been confirmed. The wives and mothers of some fighters continue to plead for help from the international community.
My husband is on the way from one hell to another hell.
The fate of those who are now prisoners of war is uncertain, and so is the future of Ukraine's Donbas region. Today, Russian forces ramped up their assault, taking aim at one of the last territories held by Ukraine in Luhansk. Ukraine's national police released this video of people being evacuated from Severodonetsk, an area where they say 12 were killed on Thursday.
Там пекло, і це
The Russian military is completely destroying the area, says Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. It's hell there, and it's not an exaggeration. Ukrainian officials say a Russian missile hit a cultural center Friday just to the west of the Donbas. They say there were 7 victims, including a child. Even in areas like Kharkiv, where Ukraine has managed to push the Russians away from the city, the sounds of artillery are still frequently heard. This man's apartment was hit during shelling.
Well,
I'm not suffering that much, but others have been killed, he said, and that will never be forgiven. How can we forgive them? Well, the attacks are intensifying in the east. To the south of where I am, Russia already controls a large swath of Ukraine's southern coast. It's difficult to get an accurate picture of life in the occupied territories, but there are reports that Russia is bringing in its own currency and making plans to hold referendums to call for Russia to annex the regions. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Dnipro.
That's from CBC News on uncertainty for the troops in Mariupol. So, all right, y'all. Hey, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Comment. I opened the chat up on YouTube. Thank you again. Saturdays is just for members of the channel to comment that support. But again, if you are unable to do so at this time, I still want you to tune in and watch. So the stream is still a public stream. But thank you again for tuning in. The next stream is coming up at 9:30. I'm going to be live on Snack Squad TV. All right, Snack Squad TV. The stream is scheduled. If you guys stick around in this stream, it'll just send you right to it afterwards. If you're interested, we're streaming the entire Metal Gear Solid franchise, Saturday night video games. So if you guys want to relax and hang out with an amazing Snack Squad community tonight and kind of get away from the war and tune into an awesome gaming stream, Snack Squad TV on YouTube, or just sit right here on the YouTube channel, and you're in the right spot here on Mercado Media. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. You guys have been excellent. Thank you so much for all the viewer support tonight. Everybody sending super chats, super stickers, all of the members of the channel, all of the supporters of the Facebook page, everybody that sent stars. It does mean a lot and helps me continue this coverage and also get out and do my reporting that I do, because as much as I do sit here and cover things from a chair, I like to get out in person and talk to people and conduct interviews and see things and report live or conduct reports in places that need media attention. That is my existence. So if you guys have any news, I mean, in Michigan, we had the tornado that went through that seemed to devastate that small city in Michigan. I only just seen it right before I went live here, so I need to look into that a little more. But send information about that to the Discord server. That's something I could get to and provide coverage of, so to shed light on some of the affected areas of that storm. Anything within the United States, regionally, Midwest, I can get to reasonably. Anything on the coasts or to the south, I might need to fly, and that might take a little bit more planning ahead. But I am down. If there's any news coverage that needs to be shed light to within the United States, I am more than available, more than ready. That's what I am built for. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was night 87 of the coverage of the war in Ukraine. We will continue on Monday. I'm off tomorrow. I need to finish my report and do some homework and get the channel. I'm gonna get videos and get a nice process to start doing some more video reports. And those that have been tuned into Snack Squad TV have got to see the process of how I edit a report and how I'm gonna put it out. It's a lot more work than just doing a live stream. Let me tell you what. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Snack Squad TV Metal Gear Solid finale of Metal Gear Solid 3 is tonight afterwards. Just stick around right here in the chat. It'll send you right to the next stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful night.